Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the RDA. I hope you are doing well. This is TripleM back with another video. The Europa League, I think us being back in the Europa League is a massive reality check for Manchester United, and I really think it's a sign of where we are. It's the same pattern ever since we sacked Alex Ferguson. Get top four, get knocked out of the Champions League, end up back in the Europa League and back in a top four fight in the second season, and then get sacked just before Christmas or just before the end of the season after winning an FA Cup. That's the reality of being a Manchester United manager. So I kind of want to use this video as a chance to break down where I'm at as a Manchester United fan and what I think is going to happen over the next 3 to 6 months and where I think it will end with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So do hit that thumbs up button and do subscribe to the channel if you are new, but let's get into it, man. First of all, I just want to say us being in the Europa League is an absolute disgrace. I have no respect for this competition whatsoever. I don't think it's a good level of competition. That's not to say that it won't be difficult. There are teams in there that will want to win, and knowing us, we won't have the type of squad and the type of rotation because of our manager and the way he selects teams. We won't have the savviness in the way we rotate our players to actually balance the Europa League and the Premier League. So as a byproduct of the fact that the Europa League is an extra game every Thursday week, it's going to become difficult, right? And that's what I think makes the Europa League difficult. It's not the actual quality of the oppositions, but the fact that we will still be in most competitions, like what happened last season. And that's what makes it hard, because if we have to play Mata and we have to play players like Rojo and Bailey and Phil Jones and every other dead player in the squad, like Lingard, Pereira. Well, Pereira's actually out on loan. I forget he's out on loan. Like that guy, yeah. I don't even want to talk about him. Those players that I just mentioned all have to play in a Manchester United team, right? And they'll probably most likely end up playing in a competition like the Europa League. And that is what makes it difficult. That's what makes it difficult. So I don't know how we're going to balance it. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to try and play a strong team in every single competition. He won't rest Maguire. He won't rest Lindelof. One of them will get injured. He won't rest Rashford. He won't rest Bruno. He won't rest Martial. He won't rest Cavani. He won't rest Greenwood. He won't rest all these players that have become mainstays of the Manchester United team. He definitely won't rest Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And those players are going to be burnt out of form, and they probably will get injured, some of them. But those that don't get injured will be playing like absolute crap, and we'll be sat here on the podcast after every game going, what is going on with Marcus Rashford? Is his head in the right place? No, motherfucker, he's tired. And that's the problem with this team. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows what he's doing. I don't think he actually knows that rotating a team, how it works. I don't think he's found his rhythm. I don't think he's found synergy in that team. I think he's kind of just experimenting every single game and trying to find what works. The Pogba situation, for example. If this is a player that you're not going to keep long term, why is he in your team? Why is Van der Beek not being started? Why would you start someone who's not going to be here in the next 6 months or potentially even in the next month over somebody who's going to be here for the next 3 to 4 years? Who's probably better and fits into your system a little bit better. Not in terms of individual skill and talent, but probably just fits the system better. Van der Beek has been a better player for Manchester United this season than Paul Pogba will ever be. And because he's leaving. Not because of any personal agendas against Pogba, like he's leaving. It's not my problem Pogba's leaving. So for the sake of this comparison and for the sake of comparing this season and all the future seasons, Van der Beek will be a better player for Manchester United than Paul Pogba will ever be, because Paul Pogba wants to leave and he's got an agent who loves stirring up trouble. So why are we playing Paul Pogba? Cavani's not going to be here for a long time. Martial will, if we keep him happy. Why are we moving a player who scored 20 goals as a striker out to a position he doesn't want to play in, and he's never wanted to play in, and he's never been happy in, for a player who's only going to be here for a year and a half at best? Maybe 2, but I'm counting the injuries. Or Cavani's going to get injured, so you have to shave off like 6 months from his Manchester United career. I guarantee you Cavani will be injured for at least 6 months in the 2-year contract he has. So it's 1.5 years that we have Cavani for. Not to mention he didn't play for the first 2 weeks and he was injured a week ago anyways. So this team and the selections of this manager do not make sense, and they're not in alignment with the future vision or future plan. They seem like very short-term decisions. They seem like decisions made in moments and in spurts for specific opposition and for specific situations. And that's why I don't think we'll be able to juggle the responsibilities of the Europa League and the The Premier League. If we lose to Real Sociedad, with all due respect, they're on top of the La Liga table. I respect them. That might change in the next 2 months because we only played them in February, right? All due respect, if we lose to Real Sociedad, that is on us, not on them. With all due respect, we lost to Sevilla because we were crap and we could not take our chances, not because Sevilla is an amazing footballing side. They win Europa Leagues for a living. Since when is that the measure of a good footballing side? Like, have Manchester United fallen that far that we look at a team that wins the Europa League every season and we go, oh, that's a good footballing side, it's okay to lose to them? Then if that's the case, then we've fallen a lot further than a lot of people want to admit. And that is kind of why I didn't really want to make this video. I was putting it off because the reality is, no matter how high your standards are, no matter when you started supporting this team, no matter how much you like Sir Alex Ferguson, the reality is we have a board that does not know what it's doing and does not have a clear structure that is focused on getting the best out of our team in a footballing sense. And we do not have a manager who understands the difference between long-term problems and short-term problems. He's so fixated on solving short-term problems, but the long-term problems are actually getting worse and compounded by his idiotic short-term thinking. If you switch formations every single game, eventually it will catch up to you, and eventually you will have a long-term problem on your hand, which is that you are inconsistent over a stretch of games. You cannot win trophies. You cannot pull a consistent string of results together to actually go on and win something and show that you've made progress. And so therefore, there's no justifiable reason to keep you in a job, and we sack you. And then the next manager comes in and the same thing keeps happening and keeps happening and keeps happening. And while all this is going on, the manager at the helm, including Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, by the way, is not even getting what he wants. The streets will never forget that he never got Jadon Sancho. He never got Jack Grealish. He never got Upamecano, and he never got a right winger. Ahmed Diallo is not a Manchester United right winger. Pellistri is not a Manchester United right winger. He's playing for the bloody youth team at the moment, so he ain't ready. So I don't want to hear anything about Pellistri, fam. We do not have a right winger. That's why we play the diamond. That's why we play the 5 at the back. We do not have a right winger. We do not have a left winger. Marcus Rashford is not a left winger. Left wingers don't just cut in and shoot unless they're Ronaldo and they score 90% of the time. Most left wingers create chances and are selfless because they know the number 9's job is to score, not their job. Mason Greenwood is not a right winger. Most good right wingers are chance creators. They get goals and assists, not just goals. And they probably get more assists than they do goals, and they probably create more chances for their teammates than they do themselves. Mason Greenwood does not. He's extremely selfish. He loves to take a shot, and I respect him because his goals to shots on target ratio is absolutely magnificent for a player his age, but that's not what a right winger is supposed to do. So we've got an influx of forward players: Cavani, Martial, Rashford, Greenwood. 5 forward players who are all not traditional wingers and can all play down the middle. Now, Marcus Rashford's not a very good striker, but he can do a job there. So can Fellaini, apparently, because if you don't know, Fellaini actually played as striker under Louis van Gaal in a one-off game. I think it might have been against Crystal Palace, but I'm not even sure. Point is, Marcus Rashford can do a job. If everyone was injured, who else would we play besides Marcus Rashford? Exactly. So that's the point I'm trying to make. We have forward players who don't have very specific set specialist positions in this team. And we didn't sign any specialist right wingers or any specialist left wingers in the transfer window. Instead, we signed a long-haired Madonna who's absolutely past it and is not anywhere near his prime, who is going to kick one of our best players out of position. Okay, cool. In the midfield, we're not selecting the one midfielder we actually did sign for premium price. Premium player for a very cheap price, sorry. Not premium price. It's premium player for a cheap price. We're not using him because we're playing this guy that wants to leave the club. We're not using a player we signed for the future because we want to play a player who's leaving anyways. How does that make any sense? Why is Paul Pogba in the starting 11? He doesn't want to be here. It doesn't make any... Is there some clause in his contract that says he has to start every game, even if there's turmoil in the dressing room? Because if there is, then that's another problem at this club. We do not negotiate contracts properly. And I haven't even gotten to the defense yet, but I'm not even going to go there because this video is going to be too long. So I think you get the point. The problems at this club are much bigger than the board. They're much bigger than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's everything. It's rotten from the top to the bottom, from the executive order to the managerial order to the cooking lady to the medical staff to the freaking ball boys. Everything at this club is just broken. And I don't know where we begin to fix it, because I guarantee you, if we sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and get Poch tomorrow, we'll be back here in 18 months when Poch does not get his signings, talking about how we are still in the Europa League and our best achievement is the Champions League final. But yeah, I don't know.